All right, so how did we get here? All right, I was diagnosed back in the late 90s with a rapid cycle bipolar disorder and a borderline personality disorder. I was put on a chemical cocktail trying to help my mood swings. Ended up developing pancreatitis. I was in the hospital first attack for 14 days. They think it was Depakote. They weren't sure, couldn't be sure. I was on 4 meds at the time. GI doctors told me to stop taking the pills. Go on a low-fat, high-fiber diet. I'm like, how low are we talking about with the fat? He said, try to keep it below 10 grams per meal, which is tricky. So, all right, I'll go home, doctors changed my meds up. I'll go on to change my diet. 2 months in, the whole family's tired of the no red meat, no fried foods, all chicken and fish and roasted vegetables, all we're eating. They're ready for a hamburger. I don't blame them. Go get your hamburger, bring me a salad. I'm eating my salad and I'm smelling French fries. McDonald's are on point in the late 90s. So I ate one French fry, one McDonald's French fry, put me in the hospital for 12 days. GI doctors were like, man, you can't be eating this. You gotta stop doing the pills, yada, yada, yada. GI doctors were mad about me taking the pills still and was surprised that a single French fry put me in the hospital, but it is what it is. The psychiatrist changed up my doctor or changed up my pills again. I go back 3 months later. I'm at a family function. My mother wanted me to try this wine she had, and I had a little shot glass worth of wine. And that was in the hospital that night. Another 10-day bout with pancreatitis over a shot glass of wine. GI doctors are stumped. They're talking about maybe taking out my gallbladder or doing some, gallbladder could be causing some of this. I go back to psychiatrists. They don't know what to do. One of the doctors sent me to a Dr. Henry Good was the one who suggested cannabis. I had used it, but I have a job to keep. I can't use cannabis every day and wasn't on board with using marijuana right off the bat. They decided to run a tube down my throat to scope my stomach and see if maybe there's some other damage down there. The running the scope caused a pancreatic attack. I was in the hospital 7 or 9 days for that. I forget. But they were adamant that something's wrong. They think there may be something wrong with my gallbladder. So they decided to take my gallbladder out. So on 9/11, as the Twin Towers are getting attacked, I'm having my gallbladder cut out. And at this point, they're taking parts out. I've got to make a change. I've got to do something different. So I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell my wife. I didn't tell my doctors. I didn't tell nobody. After that attack, and the doctors told me that it was the pills that did it, I just weaned myself off. When they took the gallbladder out, I realized I got to do something different, and I weaned myself off the pills and started using weed. I was just using it mildly throughout the day just to keep cannabis in me, and it was working. It was working really well. Did that for probably 4 months before I told anybody, and my doctors were surprised. My wife was excited that it was working well and everything was going good, but I started having issues keeping a job. One of the issues when they took my gallbladder out was they nicked the nerve that tells my stomach when to empty. So along with having acute pancreatitis, which restricts what foods I can eat, now my stomach doesn't empty properly. So I'm constantly having to baby my stomach to keep me from being nauseous. All that combined, me using cannabis, started losing jobs, couldn't keep a job. The psychiatrist and the GI doctor decided it would be best just to put me on disability. And I got a lawyer and made sure when I filed for my disability and went before the judge that he knew what was going on, that I can't take the pills anymore, my body cannot process them, that I have to use cannabis and I don't have the funds to move to a medical marijuana state. This was in the early 2000s. So they put me on disability. Once I was on disability, I don't have the funds to buy it. I started selling it. Somebody snitched, here I am. Went to prison, got out. While I was in prison, right after getting arrested, I started having issues with my throat, phlegmy throat, scratchy throat. nuisance, really. Doctors in the county jail wasn't really doing nothing. I get to prison, start picking on them about it, and they're really not doing nothing about it either. And this tonsil on this left side is inflamed. I could see that it's inflamed, but they're not wanting to do anything about it. I ended up getting in a 309 program and going to a county jail. And sidetrack, I helped get a nurse fired there. And a new nurse came in and she looked at my throat and she got me in with a doctor with ADC in Malvern. And they was like, yeah, that's got to come out. Set me up for an appointment to get it cut out. Come to find out that that tonsil had cancer in it, which I know wouldn't have happened had I not stopped using marijuana. Ended up getting out. They legalized weed. I go and get my card as soon as it's legal. I don't ask nobody's permission. I just go get my card because I know I qualify and I know I need it. Parole Board wasn't liking it. At the time, I was mainly using it for my mood issues, and I could stop every 3 months to clean up for the silly little test and go on about my life. But another thing that I've noticed has helped is with my prostate. And that's been the linchpin as to why I had to stop cleaning up for the test. Because it was bothering me before prison and they give me Flomax, but the cannabis helped better than the Flomax did. I didn't even notice Flomax working back before I went to prison. I took Flomax in prison and it helped somewhat. Once I got out, I started using cannabis and I quit using Flomax because I didn't need it. Then all of a sudden, once I hit my 50s, mid-50s, my prostate was like, yeah, you might need that Flomax. So I started taking the Flomax and still really wasn't getting any real relief. I was taking saw palmetto, I was taking cranberry extract, I was taking prostate PQ, which is another rye grain supplement. I was taking a bunch of medications for my prostate and still not getting any real relief. And saw the doctors, not cancerous, yada, 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 going back to Venice, do what you got to do. So cannabis is not working. Marijuana is not working as well as it was because there's no CBD in the cannabis that they sell here. So I started ordering hemp flour to mix with my cannabis. I got my hemp up 2 to 1, like twice as much hemp as cannabis or as marijuana. And I was able to stop my prostate from bothering me because, listen, my prostate was getting to the point where it had swelled up to the point where I was having trouble passing and having a bowel movement. And I was urinating blood. And I was in real pain. CBD stopped all that. And I know that it was a CBD because there's been a couple times since. And that was what stopped me from cleaning up for the drug test because I can't keep pissing blood for you. My parole officer at the time understood, was sympathetic. We did all the paperwork. I got all my paperwork together, which is something I didn't want to do before because I knew it would be a hassle. So now I've got to do it. I've got to petition the parole board. Got all my paperwork together, gave it to her. She sent it up the rail, and they sent it back. So now I got to send it to the parole board myself. So I made a bunch of copies. I sent it to the parole board, some state senators. I think I tried to send a copy to the governor. I didn't send one to the attorney general, but I got the word out and they just basically told me to go fuck yourself. You can't have it. So now I'm at the point where they're going to take doc points off me every month until I lose points, unless I hire a lawyer, which I can't afford, or some of my friends and family back me up because the parole board's just simply not going to listen to an inmate. If he don't have family backing him up on his problems, they just think I'm a dope head looking for my fix. So if y'all would be kind enough to reach out to the parole board, either call them or send them a letter. I've attached all my pertinent information. If for somehow this gets off of Facebook, because it's mainly going on Facebook, this is my email address. If anybody wants to reach out to me that's not on Facebook, you can reach out to this email address. Just put attention parole board and I'll get back to you. Any lawyers that want to help out, maybe write a letter on my behalf, I'll be grateful. But I don't have the funds, but I think if I get a couple of my friends and family to reach out, I think they'll back off on this. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your help.